Hey everyone, good morning and happy Thursday, November 16th. It's the Plant-Based Morning Show. Last show before before the weekend that leads into the Thanksgiving week. So that's a special weekend. You got to appreciate the weekend before a short week if you want to get the most out of a holiday. Okay, so I'm going to add Doug into Instagram here. We'll see how he's doing with his race preparations because he's got his big 100K race beginning at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, I believe. We'll see how he slept last night and other interesting things. All right, Doug, there you are.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing okay.
Uh-oh.
You got woken up in the middle of the night with a kid with 102 fever, which has me both tired because I had to wake up a few times for that, but also freaking out that I'm going to get sick. So
yeah, right. That's not good. First of all, we talked about the importance of sleep leading up to the race, since you're not going to be able to probably sleep almost at all the night before the race. You only have one more night of good sleep right now. You better make the most of tonight. Tell the kids to stay out of the room tonight, no matter what's going on.
No matter what. And Katie's on full duty tonight. I'm going to maybe take a melatonin or something at like.
You should sleep out in your office or something.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad idea actually.
Like a Rich Roll kind of thing, where he sleeps in a tent, you sleep out in your office.
Yeah, I sleep out in a tent. No, but yeah. So I'm sure it's all fine.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fine.
Hope you're not getting sick.
Everybody just send that good energy up into the universe.
Yep. Pop some extra compliment, prevent and reverse disease.
I did. I popped five essentials today.
Just extra vitamins that may have nothing to do with immunity.
Yeah, I don't know. Just make me feel good.
Right.
Took some elderberry.
Get some nutritional yeast, elderberry. Those are known to help with sickness.
Nutritional yeast?
Yep,
okay. Definitely. I didn't know that.
Yep, Dr. Greger has some good stuff about that.
All right,
those are the only two that I really believe in right now. But I think there's other options. Echinacea, vitamin C is always a classic.
Garlic?
Yeah, I think garlic, onions. Those are. You should be eating those all the time.
Maybe we should take an emergency. That's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, we forgot to mention really quickly the show is sponsored by Compliment. Lovecompliment.com. That's what we're talking about now. Of course, head over there. Lots of good vegan health aids. Good morning to Britters, Phyllis Hauser, Matt O'Connor, Hot Dog Tofu, Sarah Slemp, Kelly K, Mr. Jeffrey Dale Stevens, and Matt O'Connor again. Okay, good. Good to see familiar faces. Always nice. If you're on Instagram, and some people are, go to youtube.com/NoMateAthlete. Better quality show there, better audio, better video, better community. So do that. youtube.com/NoMeatAthlete.
It's all like right. YouTube. I think of YouTube as like the cool kid table.
Yeah.
And Instagram is like the wants to be in the cool kid, but not quite there.
Right. The dork table, kind of.
Yeah. How are you, Matt? How are you doing?
I'm good. Got in half of a workout this morning because they're just getting grueling and long. These this Mass Made Simple program a month. That like the last one took me an hour and 45 minutes, and it's like hard workouts the whole time, hard stuff. So I started breaking it up because it's just mentally.
So you'll do the other half later?
Yeah, I'll do the other half later on, which includes today 50 squats at 185 pounds, which isn't, that 185 is not a lot of squats, but not a lot for a squat. It's enough. And 50 of them is kind of what this program's all about. So that won't be that fun. But anyway,
today's your 3-week.
That's right. I started on Thursday 3 weeks ago. Yep. And I am now up. I weighed myself this morning. I'm up 12.5 pounds in 3 weeks.
12.5 pounds?
12.5. Yeah. And that's legit. That's not biased. It's not a nighttime weigh-in or something. It's apples to apples. Some of that's fat, of course, right? You can't just gain only muscle. At least not likely. But yeah. And also I'm just getting way, way stronger, which is funny because I've been focusing on strength for the past year and a half, 2 years. Which is like you rest till you're completely recovered. And it's just a different approach than trying to put on mass. But I've gotten so much stronger in the past 3 weeks than I had gained in the previous, 4 months.
Interesting.
Yes. I think the catch is that it's not really sustainable to do what I'm doing. The 6-week program is really just meant to be 6 weeks. It's not do it all year long. So I think that's the catch. I think that's why you get some good results, but then you got to go back to the old way.
Are you has Erin noticed anything when you take your shirt off?
I don't know. She hasn't mentioned. So I don't know. We'll see. I did take a before photo though, so we'll see. Once it's done, 3 more weeks from now, I'll take an after photo and I'll present her with that evidence.
6-week program, and then what?
Then I don't know. Then I'd probably just go back to strength training and just hope to keep on the size. And I guess you could do it if you were bodybuilding. You'd go into a cutting phase at that point. But what am I going to cut for so I can be all ripped by January when everyone wears 10 layers of clothes?
You could be that one guy walking around like with your shirt off, when it's 30 degrees outside.
Right.
Hey, so anyway, I see right now you got the like tight arm shirt going on. I can see some definition. That's my workout shirt.
Yeah, looking good. Well, thanks. Yeah. That's the idea. Want to look good for this show.
That's right.
I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. All right. Jenny Greenland, special check-in, says, I've been listening to this podcast since it started, but this is my first time being able to join live. Way to go, hey. Jenny Garland. If I had the music queued up, I'd put on a little audience round of applause for you. But I think the sound machine has died. No, it didn't die. It didn't run out of power. It just doesn't work like that. We'll get that round of applause later on. It'll come. Just be patient. But anyway, yeah, thanks. And other podcast listeners, please come to the live. It's just fun, and you can be like Jenny Greenland and get your comment pinned up on the thing for everyone to see. There it is. That is small crowd applause is the name of that sound. Okay, so anyway, enough of that. Thank you, Jenny. Hello, welcome to the show. And any other introductory stuff, Doug? Any other goings on? I don't know.
No. I know that everyone will be eagerly watching my tracker. So head over to the Discord. I got the link. I'll share it there today.
Discord.com. No, nomeathlete.com/Discord. We haven't gotten Discord to add that directory to their main site yet to put /nomeathlete on there, but we're working on it.
And Phyllis mid-show asked if I could share a recipe for the lentil loaf, and I did yesterday. So if you want something, if you want to engage with Doug Hay, not so much Matt Frazier, and Doug Hay, the Discord is the place to be.
I was sort of locked out of the Discord for a while, and I spent a long time trying to get back in, and I finally did. And then I got in last Friday after many password changes and all these different things. And so once I got in, I didn't know what to say. I was out of time for engaging, so I just put Happy Friday, and then I peaced out.
But you peaced out.
Yeah, but I'm but
I love it.
But I do like that Discord. I like the energy there. Hey, Amelia Guido Bono says upvote to Doug's haircut. Now, if this was just a random listener, I would say, congrats, Doug. You did a good job with your haircut. You've impressed a female audience member. But Amelia is part of the team at Compliment, so it's kind of a bias. But thank you. Thank you, Amelia.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
It is a good haircut. You get that just for the 100K?
No, I just did it just to get a haircut. It's actually it's been like this all week. I got it on Monday, I think. Mm-hmm. So you haven't noticed until today. I don't know. I guess
I think I did notice one time, and then I just then I think I noticed on a team call, and then I was it. Okay. Then it was no longer news in my head. All right. Well, we got some interesting stuff today. Actually, I like this show. This is a good balance between weather report and longer form content. And some big news happening. Some things that are significant in the science world and the plant-based business world. Yesterday we talked about Beyond Meat in survival mode. Really, financial difficulties, according to one analyst. Now, this is from Wired. Popular vegan egg and lab-grown meat company Eat Just. Doug, this is your family's favorite eggs. Just Egg is what they make, of course. And their other side is called, I think, Good Meat. Is that right? They're making the cultivated meat. Well, they are in deep financial trouble, reports Wired. Wired did a special investigation about this. I don't know why. I guess Wired is a technology thing, and this is technology. So I don't think they went undercover, but they started researching. But anyway, they say Eat Just is being sued for $100 million. And
sued?
By a former partner, I think a bioreactor company, and faces lawsuits from other vendors, some of which are reported for the first time in Wired. They got a couple of quotes. The biggest issue was absolute financial mismanagement, says a former senior Eat Just employee. Others have said the practice of delaying or withholding payment to vendors was entrenched and endemic. 6 months behind on some vendors, etc. The biggest part of this $100 million lawsuits, I think it's several lawsuits, is from ABEC, a bioreactor firm that says the company owes more than $61 million to them. They're also being sued from separate invoices or separate not invoices, separate disputes. Another one for $4 million. I don't know where the other $35 million comes from because they don't add up to 100. But anyway, it sounds like
heartbreaking news, Matt.
Yeah, I know. Like maybe they should have just kept on doing those nice just eggs and not even had $100 million in their company and just keep it small.
Man, because the egg replacement was kind of the shining bright light in the shining star in the plant-based alternative market right now, as far as as far as the new stuff goes. Of course,
right.
Milk
it's kind of weird, and I mean, I guess when we were surprised at first when we realized that the same company that made the Just Egg was also doing cultivated meat over in Singapore.
Yeah,
and then they brought it here, at least for approval. They haven't yet. I mean, it's in a restaurant or two, but that's it. So it's weird. Like they're not. I don't think the technology of those two things has anything to do with each other whatsoever. I think the Just Egg, you could basically make that in your kitchen. It's just innovative in terms of figuring it out.
Right.
And I guess scaling it. But so like what would make them say, hey, we're positioned well to start doing cultivated meat, which no one has ever done before? I don't know, but maybe something about the culture. But anyway, so it's kind of weird. You'd hope they would sort of have kept that separate so that even if, because like I said, it's not like Just Egg has $100 million involved even in the whole company, I'm sure, to get sued for. But bioreactors and all that, whole different story. Anyway,
well, this is a bummer. I mean, we seriously eat it every week, so we buy it every week for weekend brunches. So this will be a bummer if it starts.
The thing is, these pieces, there are these sort of hit pieces sometimes that do that, and I don't know anything about Wired's motivations or anything, but like I know the company I think has raised $895 million in maybe even just recently. I don't know if that's ever or total, but like. Maybe this is nothing, right? Maybe this is like we're delayed, and now this is just kind of maybe they're always 6 months behind, and this person happened to sue 5 months instead, and now they're just going to just pay the bills. I have no idea. So it could be sort of spun up to be a big story that it's actually not, but who knows? Maybe it does sound.
Maybe it's the end of vegan egg entirely. There'll never be another vegan egg.
I'm not going to proclaim that just yet.
Hot Dog Tofu says love Just Egg. It's sad to hear. And then over on Twitch, Perigene says good mayo too. I've never had the Just Mayo.
No, I haven't either. Interesting. Did not exist. Mr. Jeffrey says, based on no info at all, I'm sure they have some sort of insurance or will fire Chapter 11 and just get scooped up. I doubt this is the end of Just Egg. Yeah, I tend to agree that this is not really a whole lot of info. We just don't know anything about how the financial stuff goes. All right. Other news, better news, really, for the plant-based world.
Yep.
New York Times, in their words, the case has never been clearer. Eat less bacon and more beans. This is a new meta-analysis, a big one, based on 37 studies. The meta-analysis where they just look at existing studies and do statistical tools on them and find things. So they published this in BMC Medicine on Wednesday, and basically they found that in general, switching from animal products, specifically processed red meats and red meats, but maybe to a lesser extent others. There's the music. That switching those things for beans and legumes and whole grains reduces risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. Let's see. I got some other. Well, we'll get into some of the more detailed stuff about this in a little while, just because we could go very deep. Anyway, they said this research followed people for 19 years.
Wow.
I don't really look. I mean, they combined the results from studies from the U.S., Europe, and Asia that asked participants these questions. So I guess the data they used had followed people for 19 years, maybe in total. I don't know, because I don't think they did any new data collection for this thing. Like I said, they adjusted for a bunch of stuff: health, calorie intake, physical activity, smoking, and alcohol use. So they do control for those factors. Still, correlation versus causation could be a big problem in here, and they do acknowledge that they don't know. They don't know what the reasons are why these plant-based foods seem to be better. but it's kind of more evidence pointing in that direction. So
great.
Interesting thing, good thing, I think, for the plant-based world when we fight with meat eaters at Thanksgiving. Perfect time. Bring this up.
I happened to fall into a carnivore rabbit hole the other day, maybe a week ago. Mm-hmm. And it was this lady who goes to like chain restaurants, Applebee's or Olive Garden or something like that, and tries to order carnivore, like just meat and cheese basically, and butter. And and it's like so ridiculous. She's like, I'll take the penne salad with chicken, but hold the pasta, but hold the pasta. And then I want the side salad, but hold all the lettuce, just the egg that comes on top of it. And like, it just it's just so gross. It's so weird. And there's no way that, that meat is of high quality at all at these chain restaurants. So it's not like there's just no way that it's healthy for you.
I mean, it's stupid. There's a lot of stuff wrong with it. Honestly, though, the dumber thing about that is social media. The fact that someone thinks that's something a good content, they're going to go to that place and they're going to order that dumb stuff like that. I just hate people. I hate people who put on shows for social media. Like, I mean, we're just talking normally and doing news, a little bit of bits here or there, but I hate when people do stunts for social media.
But we literally put on a show 3 times a week.
We do put on a show, but we don't do stunts. It's stupid. Anyway, here we go. On to the next news. Kourtney Kardashian. This is controversial in my world.
Okay.
Yep. Who I think is married, based on the fact that they call Travis Barker her husband in this article. I think he's married to Travis Barker, the Blink-182 drummer.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Which I think we knew that before also. And I don't know if that Kardashian is the one who was the Beyond Meat spokesperson or not.
No, that was Kim.
Okay. But Travis Barker is famously vegan. He's all the time the subject of veg news articles and things like that.
Was he vegan back in the day, or is he like that?
Well, at the end of the article, they gave a little history, and apparently he's been vegetarian since he's a kid, which is not surprising. I think a lot of those punk guys and girls, they fall into vegan vegetarian things. Matt Rosigno told me about that. There's a big like tie-in with the Hare Krishnas, believe it or not, and the punk scene, at least in the East Coast. I don't know about West Coast. But that gets a lot of them to go plant-based, vegetarian. But anyway, after Barker had a plane crash in 2008, remember that? He survived a plane crash?
I do remember that, yeah.
He had a health scare, and that had him go vegan. He after the health scare, he said, I'm going vegan to try to fix this or whatever. And that was fine. And so he's been vegan for 13 years, been vegan since then, which I guess is 15 years since then. Yeah, and most recently, this is more bonus info. He's gone gluten-free because he didn't say why, but he said that did incredible things for his functionality. And by the way, the vegan diet, he said, honestly, ever since I found this way of eating, I have endless amounts of energy. I can go all day, and after it all, I find myself getting tired, no matter what kind of. I never find myself getting tired, no matter what kind of shows or workouts I've done, etc. Still have to force myself to sleep at night. So.
I have to force myself to sleep. Wow.
Yeah. So he's a big advocate of the plant-based diet for health as well as the ethical part. Anyway, Kourtney Kardashian, his wife, she put together a 44-year-old his 48th birthday dinner. Well, then why does it say the 44-year-old shared clips? Oh, okay. So that's her. She's the 44. She shared clips. Anyway, she did his 48th birthday dinner, but she did it vegan. But she also made it a Thanksgiving dinner. She did early Thanksgiving.
No.
What's the birthday present?
No.
I know. This seems out of touch. I was surprised here. That's why I wondered if maybe she wasn't the wife, but like the sister or the sister-in-law or something who just sort of didn't get it. But no, I guess she's the wife. Yeah, they had placards. They had personalized menu on every plate.
Crackers,
name cards. No, maybe I said that. I don't know. They had napkin holders. I mean, all kinds of done up stuff.
Oh wow, napkin holders? No way. Rich people use napkin holders?
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
So they went all out. Although she did the dinner, says the article from Yahoo Finance. I think good article for Yahoo Finance. She did the dinner, but she didn't actually make anything. It was catered by Christian Uy. a private chef known as Chef K, who was tagged on one of the posts.
This is such a non-story. Vegan man has vegan birthday dinner.
Combined with Thanksgiving, though, that's the catch.
Yeah, that's the kicker, right? That's the real part of the story, is that famous wife is too cheap to make a fake Thanksgiving dinner and a birthday dinner.
Right. And so, actually, there is more nuance here. Here's another piece. They had entirely vegan dinner with traditional Thanksgiving dishes made vegan with vegan dairy products like vegan butter and seitan turkey, which is a vegan meat substitute. But the careful listener will notice that we said Barker was gluten-free. So how's he eating seitan? I don't know. Maybe he's not. I know. Maybe he's not really gluten-free. Maybe he just, is one of those people who claims, a lot of people say they're gluten-free and they have an intolerance and they can't have it. But then when push comes to shove and someone brings out bread, they're like, I'll just have a little bit. And then they do it. That might have happened at the table, at the Barker Kardashian table, would be my guess. But unless they just didn't realize that seitan was made out of gluten, and that'd be a big miss, because he wouldn't be feeling very good if he really had a gluten intolerance and ate seitan. So anyway, that happened. And then here's one more thing. They played Christmas. Well, she played Christmas stuff during her Instagram story on it. Frank Sinatra's "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." So it was sort of Christmassy, I guess. But then after the dinner, they stuck with Thanksgiving theme by watching the new movie titled Thanksgiving, which stars Patrick Dempsey, the sexiest man alive, according to People magazine in 2023.
This is the worst story we've covered.
But we traditionally will do Thanksgiving, and then that's when you watch a Christmas movie after Thanksgiving dinner, and that's the beginning of the Christmas season.
Yeah, not to swap it around.
So they watch a Thanksgiving movie
after listening to Christmas music.
Right. If the music was actually, I don't know if it was just in the story or if it was actually live happening.
This is hilarious.
So anyway, wacky story. I don't know. I have a holiday birthday, December 26th. Mm-hmm. If my birthday was combined with Christmas dinner and it was like, hey, here's Matt's birthday dinner as well, I don't know. It'd be okay. It wouldn't be that weird to me, just because I sort of associate the birthday with Christmas all the time anyway. But it's the day after. This is I mean, presumably more than a week ahead of Thanksgiving.
Right.
And usually a couple weeks ahead.
You do a pretty good job of like trying to celebrate on your birthday and stuff, doing a birthday.
Yeah, we do. But I'm saying I wouldn't be that upset if like the Christmas dinner was I don't know. But I'm just wondering if that goes for Thanksgiving. It doesn't seem like it. Thanksgiving seems so different from birthdays.
No, especially this far ahead.
Right.
Because surely they're going to have an actual Thanksgiving dinner next week too. So.
Right, probably. So then you get two, and I don't know if anyone wants two Thanksgiving dinners like that. Seems like one a year is enough.
All right, I think we spent enough time on this non-story.
Okay.
As Steven says, he came in at the weirdest time. Yeah.
All right. For the record, I always thought Travis Barker was a great drummer. I loved his drumming back in the day. He was way too good, I thought, for Blink-182, which would have been fine with just anyone banging out a little punk beat.
Right.
But he was a good, tasteful drummer. And still is. An extremely talented drummer.
Mm-hmm. Man, Blink-182 is having a total comeback.
Yeah, you sent me that one song, and it wasn't too good.
Yeah. But they have this new album, but they're like they're doing arena tours and also playing at Denny's and stuff. It's cool.
At Denny's?
Yeah, or at least one show at a Denny's. Which is a throwback to a popular punk clip of it's
okay.
Of some kids being like hey Denny's, let's effing rock or something like that. I forget what the quote is exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, good for them. I don't mind Blink-182. Okay. Here's some more cultivated meat news and law stuff. Florida House Representative Tyler Seroy is making headlines. Introduced a new bill prohibiting the production, selling, holding, and distributing of cultivated meat in Florida. Apparently, this misdemeanor, if you do this, anyone found in violation could face criminal penalties, including a fine ranging from $500 to $1,000.
Wow!
So good meat can just they don't care. Just drop in the bucket. Just add that to the lawsuit. They can just operate in Florida and then eat the $1,000 fine.
So. All right, introduce the bill. It didn't pass.
No, just got introduced. If signed into law, it would come into effect in July 2024.
Is Florida a big meat producing state?
Yes, I sent this to my mom, and she looked at it. Well, I don't know if this is big or not, but it's a sizable number to me. She did some extra research and said the Florida's beef cattle herd is valued in excess of $1 billion. But I don't know if that's big. I don't know if that's a lot or not for beef size.
Florida, man. All right.
So it could have been to protect those interests. It also could just be Florida kind of doing, I feel like they have a sort of a niche now. They have to sort of fit, and they got to just be the, anti-liberal kind of state. And so you just do this if you're Florida.
Yeah,
I think. So anyway, that's happening, but won't take effect for a year. So if the cultivated meat can make its way into Florida grocery stores, as I'm predicting it will, by July 2024, about 5 years in advance of other projections from experts, then Floridians could still get some before it gets banned.
All right. Well, there you go.
This year weather report. Good weather reports all week long, I must say. Shout out to the weather reports.
I know.
Not to me for collecting them. It was just the news was easy to get. It was lots of good nuggets.
And good commenting going on. We got a lot of comments here.
Are they mostly about Travis Barker and Blink-182, or about?
There's some of that. There's some. We'll go back a little ways. Mr. Jeffrey looked up the Just Egg, or the, what is it called? Just
Mayo?
No, the parent company.
Good. Eat Just.
Eat Just, and the stock has been a nosedive since last year, so it doesn't seem to be taking a bigger hit than normal right now. Then SCVB 13 says there's plenty of homemade recipes online for copycat Just Egg recipes that are cheaper to make at home, which I believe that.
I do,
but then you have to make it. And I like convenience. Guru Legends, welcome to the show. And then apparently in breaking news, Eat Just has admitted they have stopped production of Just Mayo and other items to focus on Just Egg.
That's breaking news. That is big time breaking news. Okay, good. And let's see. I've never heard of Just Mayo. Interesting that it would exist. You think they use Just Egg for it? That seems very weird, but maybe they do. Steven is talking. He loves Blink too. I'm not surprised. Steven, I know, likes his emo and pop punk things, as I do. They're talking about Green Day. Green Day is Steven's all-time favorite band. Mr. Jeffrey's going to see Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins next year.
Ooh, that's would be fun.
Double billing. Yeah.
Yeah. I had on the other day, I had on in the background, they recently did a concert where they just played through Dookie, start to finish.
That's what a lot of these bands do. And I think that's the better move than what Blink-182 is trying to do. If they are in fact trying to, just do a whole album and go play it. And I think
but Green Day has continued to put out music for a long time, so
that's true.
But
yeah,
it was really great listening to that album. It's such a good album.
Yeah, that is a great album. Look up Lollapalooza, Green Day, or maybe it's Woodstock '95.
Is that when you went?
No, I went '99.
Are you like on someone's shoulder with your shirt off?
No, but I did go during Dave Matthews Band, which is doesn't seem like a violent band, so I went up front in that one of Woodstock '99. I got so smashed in there in the mosh pit that the security guard, and I was in front of 100,000 people, whatever was there. I went over the front gate where the security guard people were because they pulled me out because I looked like I was in danger, I guess. They were like, this kid's got to get out of there. And so they yanked me out. And the compression of it was so tight in there that one of my shoes came off in the crowd. And so the whole rest of Woodstock '99, I had only one shoe. It was just lost in it.
How come I've never heard that story? I've heard you talk about Woodstock.
I don't know.
You just walked around.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I just took the shoe off, but for a while I had just one shoe.
That's amazing. I love it.
And the sock was covered in mud because it was just so muddy.
Yeah, but also kind of, it's too bad.
That was fun. It was a good story.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. So anyway, look up Green Day, 1995, 94, and they're playing those same songs that you mentioned. And it's just good. Giant mud fight at, I think, one of those. It's just great.
As Steven says, the infamous Dave Matthews mosh pit.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was there, because I wouldn't go there for Rage Against the Machine. I would get killed. And I thought this would be safe, but it wasn't at all.
Oh, that's so good. I bet that shoe got like thrown around, like
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
people
It probably went up
saw
on
it.
stage. Carter Beauford probably picked it up and drummed with it. All right. What were we talking about related to vegan things?
I don't know. We're done with the weather report. Let's head up
shift
to
gears into science.
2 stories say.
Yeah. This is more details on this new research, and I think it's interesting. I'll give you the little bit of details that I don't want to go too deep into it, and I haven't gone that deep into it. I'm just reading the Guardian's summary of it here. They said the risk of cardiovascular disease, this was in this meta-analysis of 37 studies, was 25% lower when 50 grams of processed meat a day was replaced with nuts or legumes. 50 grams, I don't think is very much, because when I make coffee in the morning, it's 27 grams of beans, and like it weighs nothing. I mean, it's like maybe 3 tablespoons of coffee beans. So 50 grams.
50 grams, not of protein, 50 grams of processed
meat. Yeah. So you don't need to be eating very much processed meat for it to be a bad thing. So if you remove 50 grams of it, and of course, this is across their whole data set. So, some people in here, that's all they were eating is 50 grams, and they removed all of it. Others probably eating 300 grams a day, and they just removed a little bit. But on average, 25% reduction from removing that much meat.
Okay, so what qualifies as processed meat? You got of course your salami, your ham, I would imagine.
Your deli meats.
Deli meats.
Sure. I think it's anything that has is it nitrates or nitrites? I don't know. I think it's the nitrites that are bad. I'm not sure, but one of them is in the processing, and that's kind of the problem. So I don't know the chemistry very much at all. But so I think anything that has that stuff, and I don't know if the bacons typically do. I think they do. I think that's just like the nature of that kind of food, and that's why bacon tastes like bacon, is because it is cured or whatever. So yeah, so that I think that's processed. So I think the typical red meat ground beef thing is not processed red meat. That's just red meat.
Okay.
I think
that GPT is giving me an answer right now. They got bacon, sausages, hot dogs, ham, salami, corned beef, pepperoni, jerky.
See, I don't know why hot dogs count, because surely those hot dogs are not being cured. They're just isn't that just like a bunch of byproducts? Right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, for sure. But as is regular ground beef, that's still processing. I don't know what this is, but it just seems like whenever they say processed red meat, they're talking about the curing stuff. But I don't really know. So anyway, they go on. Let's see. Here's the same. Okay, here's right up below that. Though. We could have just looked below in the article. Replacing processed meat, which was often red meat in the form of ham, bacon, sausages, or hot dogs, was linked to the clearest health benefits. And that's where switching 50 grams of that for 28 to 50 grams of nuts was associated with a 21% lower risk of death from any cause in the studies assessed. Whereas we were talking earlier about the cardiovascular, that's why that was a different number. They said replacing 1 egg a day with 25 grams of nuts was linked to a 17% lower risk. This is back to the cardiovascular. Sorry, we're jumping around. And then type 2 diabetes risk reduced by 20% when 50 grams of processed meat was swapped for up to 28 grams of nuts, or when a daily egg was replaced with 30 grams of whole grains or 10 grams of nuts. So in general, so far they've just said nuts, I think. But later, I don't know if I have it. Sorry, we're just kind of jumpy here. I sent this to I had compliment Matt Tolman earlier, so I'll just read from that. It said the risk of cardiovascular disease was about 25% lower when 50 grams of processed meat a day was replaced with nuts or legumes. Meanwhile, replacing 1 egg a day with 25% was also linked to lower risk, but there was no clear evidence that replacing poultry or fish with nuts or legumes reduced cardiovascular disease. So that's sort of interesting to me, that in this study, they have found processed red meat to be something that you do well to switch away from.
Right.
The same, to a lesser extent, other red meat. And that's kind of controversial, because we've seen really pro red meat things come out recently, like the UN report, where it still says processed is bad, but just plain old red meat, unprocessed, might actually be a health food in their eyes. But in this case, the fish and the poultry, you don't benefit by switching away from those, at least when it comes to cardiovascular risk, by switching to legumes or nuts. So that's kind of interesting. And I think that's good. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's maybe not as good as if it was 100% animal products bad, plant products good. But sometimes I feel like when there's some little concession made, which is the wrong word because it isn't a concession, but like that sort of helps people see that this study wasn't entirely just some biased thing, right? They say, okay, they're saying not all animal products are terrible, but these ones really are, these other ones. And so I think people are going to believe this more and embrace this more.
And I mean, I think it also, will hopefully make some people make some decisions that, like obviously if they were just switching every red meat to poultry and fish, then that wouldn't be good as far as, animal cruelty goes. But if they are choosing to then just have some vegetarian dishes instead, because and eat the same amount of poultry and fish, then that's a great thing.
Yeah, right. Agree. Mr. Jeffrey asks, but prosciutto is cured and not considered processed. I don't know if prosciutto is not considered processed. Does it say that somewhere in an article? I would have assumed that falls into that same category. Prosciutto is uncooked, unsmoked, and dry cured. I don't know. Don't know. Have no idea what it takes. Same with gravlax. What? Oh, okay. Prosciutto. You're doing that thing. Okay, gotcha. I literally did not know what you were saying, and then I realized it was an Italian spoof.
Oh yeah.
All right. Steven says big Thursday vibes, and I think that is correct. That's what today.
Gotta love a good Thursday.
All right, so let's in keeping with that, let's move away from science things and move to Thanksgiving content. This is from Veg News, and it's a big one. It's a banger, as I used to say. Make a show-stopping Thanksgiving spread with these 24 vegan recipes. So,
Doug, pull it up?
Yeah, pull it up. You're hosting Thanksgiving. I'm hosting Thanksgiving. I think you're hosting Thanksgiving, right?
Or we're going to my mom's, but it's local, so no.
And you'll be making.
We're in charge of half of the meal or some of the meal.
You gonna get a seat not in sight of the turkey? Have you told her about that?
I don't think there is going to be a turkey.
Actually, okay.
I don't know if it'll be fully vegan, but there will be no turkey.
Okay.
And probably no meat, I would assume. My mom doesn't eat much meat.
Okay. Good.
And we bought our loaf or our roast yesterday.
What'd you get? What brand? Not Trader Joe's. Tofurkey. Okay. Just regular old loaf, or is it stuffed with something? Crusted with something?
Nope, just regular. No crusted. It's just regular old holiday roast. I think it's
holiday roast. So it probably then has some. Does it have a center?
Stuff. It has some stuff. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a gravy.
Okay. Good. Well, that'd be nice. I have not yet decided what I am doing for that. There's a decent chance I will make my own. I really we were talking about that and I liked it. And I've been making seitan. I make it I don't know. I made it on Super Bowl and I made it maybe once or twice since then. And it's easy. I'm always surprised at how simple it is. It'll be a little more tricky to stuff it with something, but I think I might do that. Anyway.
I think you should do it and you should share the process in the Discord.
Yeah. And then I got to take pictures and things while I'm cooking. And that's such a pain because, well, I could have someone else take the pictures, I guess.
You do have, you have a social media expert over there, so
that's true. Yes. I do. Like he could edit me a reel or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. So number one, speaking of homemade roast, vegan holiday roast with hazelnut cranberry stuffing. I don't think we'll run quickly through all 24, but we won't take long here because
I mean that looks pretty good. I assume that's in that picture of the actual version.
Yeah,
that's great.
I first thought that was a lentil loaf. Which I know you're a fan of, but I think it's not. I think it's a seitan thing. Actually, I'm not sure. I didn't really look at the recipe. Let's take a quick glance here just so people can know. Vegan beef grounds, 4 cups of that. Wow, that is. I would never do that. That's crazy to me. It just seems like that wouldn't be very good. It seems like that would just taste too much like fake meat. Whereas seitan, I don't know. To me, a little better. Anyway, there's that one. This one I definitely would not do. The number 2, vegan stuffed squash roast with cranberry orange sauce. I mean,
I was going to ask if you're a stuffed squash guy.
Oh, no, I'm the complete opposite of that.
Well, you don't like squash in general, right?
I don't like squash, and I don't like stuffed things like stuffed bell peppers, or I used to have stuffed acorn squash. And nobody wants that for their dinner, for their meal. I don't think. Do they?
Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, obviously, some people do.
Well,
here's the question.
Nice.
All right, so when you stuff something inside a turkey, right? That stuffing or vegetables or whatever, cooks with the meat, and so it absorbs a lot of that fat and oil and grease, right?
I actually don't know that. Isn't stuffing like sort of a whole separate thing now? Like we have stuffing and
now for I think originally you stuffed it, right?
Right. Yeah, I think so too.
But that's why, like yesterday when we were talking about having a vegan stuffing and then your meat stuffing where they drizzle the grease on there.
Drizzle the grease. Yep.
But so like, what's the actual benefit of stuffing vegetables? Because the flavors don't really like.
Right. That's why that doesn't seem very good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it.
Mr. Jeffrey, let us know.
Yeah, I think it's an aesthetic thing, perhaps. Because I mean, like I said, that thing looks nice, except for the fact that it looks like a Subway sandwich. It looks like a nice, visually appealing thing. Mm-hmm. I think that's it. I really think that's all you get out of it. Because that would be such a disappointment if that was your main thing at Thanksgiving.
I would eat that.
Would you?
I don't think I would go through the trouble of making it, but I've made large stuffed squashes like that.
Mm-hmm. You put strings around them like that?
Yeah.
Really?
One time, at least once.
Wow.
Yeah. Got one of those. You know how oftentimes they'll have like just an enormous squash or something at the farmer's market that had been on the vine too long. Yeah. Yep. Get one of those. They don't have a lot of flavor, so they're perfect for this type of thing. Just use it as a case.
Okay. Good. All right, so there's that one if you want something like that. This is controversial, number 3. Cashew mac and cheese with lobster mushrooms. Lobster mushrooms look like lobster pieces in there, so that's kind of cool, I guess. But is mac and cheese a Thanksgiving dish, Doug?
No.
I was trying to remember this, and I kind of think that we used to have it at my grandparents' house.
Really?
And that to me is sort of what that's the the benchmark by which I measure Thanksgiving meals and say, is that a Thanksgiving food or not? And I think it was there. So I have to say yes, but it just seems weird.
Maybe. But lobster mac and cheese?
No.
Oh, lobster mushrooms.
Yeah, the seafood at Thanksgiving, I've never seen it. I've heard of it before. Here it looks like it's lobster pieces, right? Because it's kind of red.
So it does, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, on to the next. Vegan sweet potato swirled mashed potatoes. Another one looks pretty good. I mean, it looks cool. Mm-hmm. I think I don't like the sweet foods very much, so I would just like regular mashed potatoes. I think good garlicky, salty taste, but visual appeal, this is good.
I would agree with that.
Okay, but you won't do that.
And the preference for the regular mash.
Yeah, me too. All right, number 5, vegan spinach and mashed potato stuffed mushrooms. By the way, every one of these has a recipe attached to it. So if you go to the Veg News post, vegnews.com, and then I'm sure on the homepage you can find the Thanksgiving post. They all link out to recipes. I think they're mostly Veg News published recipes, but they're all there. So you can go make this stuff. I mean, this seems kind of good. Like I would like this, but to me, I wouldn't make this at Thanksgiving. It just seems like too much trouble for Thanksgiving when you're trying to make 15 things.
Just, they look great though. I mean, as a little appetizer when you're sitting around,
that'd be nice for that.
And at that point, you're stuffing these little mushroom tops. That makes sense to me.
Maybe it's not. You're right. That is a stuff thing. Yeah, that could be. I think an early in the day move. That'd be the time to eat that. I like that idea. All right. Herbed vegetable roast with garlic mashed potatoes. I don't really know what this is. I didn't look closely. It looks like root vegetable that you basically roast, and yeah, that's it. And some carrots maybe. Yeah, okay. It wouldn't be bad. I'd rather have that than the stuffed squash thing, honestly, but not going to beat the seitan roast to me. All right, sweet potato and chili dauphinoise. I don't know how to say that one, with spicy pumpkin. That looks like fancy stuff. Really,
I don't know what
fancy.
Half of that is, but it looks good.
I don't either. Yeah, it looks good. It just, I mean, I don't know. Thanksgiving to me is like a bunch of little piles on your plate. None of it has to look, you kind of, slop it on there with a spoon. None of it needs to be like fancy presentation or anything. So anything that's a little bit too much like that is just not going to make it onto my
Best part is that broccolini or broccoli raw. I don't know.
That looks pretty good.
It does look good. Charred up. Looks very, very good.
What's the best like green thing to serve at Thanksgiving? We were saying yesterday everything should be brown or white.
Right.
But something like that is really great to have when you have a filling heavy meal. So a nice little green vegetable is really delicious.
We often do green beans.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good one. Green beans is sort of a classic. So that is the answer. Okay, 8. Gluten-free baked butternut squash risotto. Again, interesting thing. I could imagine that being. I mean, I make risotto with butternut squash now and then, and that's a good dinner. But I just don't know. You know what? I think I made that as an appetizer once for Thanksgiving dinner, or maybe it was Christmas dinner.
Risotto.
Yeah,
it's an appetizer.
It's always a first course. I mean, in Italy, it's
is it
like the pasta plate? Yeah, it comes out at the head of the main thing. All right, number 9, vegan corn. Thanks, Doug. Vegan 9. Number 9, vegan cornbread loaf. Another controversial item to me.
Okay.
Southern cornbread, it's kind of a Southern thing. Yep. But I think it fits right in. You got to imagine at the first Thanksgiving, they probably had some corn there since the Indians were involved. They probably made cornbread.
Cornbread is a staple at our Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good.
Usually muffins, but
you got to look out for cornbread. It's not typically vegan. You got to make it specially vegan if you want to have it, because you have butter in there. All right, vegan cheesy cauliflower potato casserole. This seems pretty good. This seems like a Thanksgiving dish to me in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Sloppy kind of thing. Doesn't look too nice, but it's comforting. Number 11, pomegranate stuffing with lemon cashew cream sauce. Interesting. Could be good. I think I could, as much as I don't like sweet things, I think a few little pomegranate seeds in my stuffing.
Yeah.
I'd go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a cranberry flavor. All right, vegan butternut harvest roll. This looks like a lot of work. It appears you are wrapping things in puff pastry, maybe. Puff pastry with winter vegetables inside them. A lot of work. But if you're not gonna, that's a nice alternative maybe to the roast if you don't want to do the seitan roast or something.
Yeah.
Creamy butternut squash soup. We've had something like this, pumpkin soup, I think, for Thanksgiving before as an appetizer kind of dish. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Vegan deviled egg potatoes. This is cool. Number 14.
This is cool.
Looks just like deviled egg.
Were you a deviled egg family?
No, I was never any kind of egg person. Oh, family. I think again, at my grandparents' house, they served these deviled eggs. Yes, with paprika on top.
Yep. I grew up with a lot of deviled eggs.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, at any sort of potluck, any sort of fancy dinner. I mean, my grandmother, whose house she lived in temporarily, she for our wedding gave us a deviled egg dish, even though we didn't eat eggs, because she thought that everybody needed a deviled egg dish. And she said this. She said, "I know you don't need eggs, but everybody needs a deviled egg dish." so we had one. Wow. Had one for a while. I finally gave it away. But
yeah, that's funny. Deviled eggs is like a hard-boiled white part of the egg, but the yolk is like whipped up or something.
Yeah, you hard boil eggs and then you cut them in half and then scoop the yolk out and mix it with, I think, mayo or I don't know, a bunch of seasoning and stuff, and then scoop it and put it back in.
Okay, I see.
And these look pretty good.
Yeah, this is cool. So the idea here, if you're just listening, can't see it. It's small potatoes. I'm guessing these are kind of like new potatoes. You wouldn't want a huge potato, and they cut them in half. I guess after cooking, maybe before, and then they fill it with some sort of yellow mixture that looks just like whipped egg yolk and sprinkle with paprika. I mean, I'd eat that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, looks great. Might have to try this.
Let's see what the filling is made of real quick for the podcast listeners, in case they're considering it but don't want to go click until they know what's inside. Yellow mustard, vegan mayonnaise, salt, turmeric. That's it. Not much else.
And potatoes. So you'd like take the potato and whip it with that stuff?
Yeah, they're small Yukon Gold potatoes. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if you. Let's see. Yes.
Scoop potato flesh. Okay.
You scoop potato flesh with that stuff and whip that up. That's pretty good. I think that's a nice little dish.
How long does it take? It takes to cook.
Well, you got to boil the potatoes for 25 minutes, so that's extra. But that's not active.
I might do this. I
don't know. I'm tempted as well. It's from Healthy Girl Kitchen.
I wonder if I can borrow a deviled egg dish. Shouldn't have given it away.
Every now and then, there's an item you gave away that you shouldn't have purged.
Yeah, I know.
and then the anti-purging people in the house come back to you and they say, "You shouldn't have given it away." And then I have to say, "But how many items did we give away that we haven't used again?" And yes, we now and then we get one loss, but mostly it's a bunch of wins.
Real Legends asked if the potato would be cold or hot or cold and dry. I mean, I would imagine
you place it in the refrigerator until ready to serve, or you can serve immediately. You need a piping bag to do the filling. Doug, you have one of those?
Ooh, I do not. Use a Ziploc, right?
I think you could probably figure that out. Yeah, it won't have texture to it, but that's okay. Yeah, seems like a pretty simple recipe, and I like the whole idea of that.
Yep. All right. Moving on.
Yes, moving on. Vegan creamed corn is number 15. I don't think I'm a creamed corn fan. Again, the sweetness I'm just not really into. Corn as a whole, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't even know what creamed corn is. It's just like in some sort of creamy sauce.
I don't know either. Is it thick or is it
I don't
kind
know.
of runny?
Not sure. It says coconut creamer is the secret. I'm not going to be doing that one though. Vegan maple herb glazed carrots is number 16. Those look pretty tasty to me. Carrots are already pretty sweet, so more maple on there makes them extra sweet. I don't know. Might be okay. Charred Brussels sprouts with black garlic. Charred Brussels sprouts are really good. Brussels sprouts in the air fryer. Have you done that in your new air fryer, Doug?
I have not done that, and that sounds delicious.
Yeah,
I love fried Brussels sprouts.
When those skins char or the outer leaves char in the air fryer, they take on a flavor that is like no other, and it's just really good. So black garlic, I'm sure, would enhance that. Hopefully, you could do it with regular garlic too. Because
when we were talking about what green to do, hot dog tofu.
Yep.
Suggested Brussels sprouts.
Okay,
that's a good one.
That's a great one. 18 vegan Greek lemony roasted potatoes. Greek. What do you think about Greek influence at your Thanksgiving table?
I mean, they look good.
Yeah,
but
they do. They do look good. But if you're gonna already have mashed potatoes, that's sort of a must-have staple.
And egg potato.
Right. We just can't make all these, obviously. Glazed vegan honey nut squash with mint and feta. More Greek influence. What's the feta? I guess it's just vegan feta.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know about mint at my Thanksgiving table. That seems like maybe a Christmas time appetizer. Vegan feta crumbles they use for that. Yeah, I'm staying away from that squash. No need. Vegan garlicky herb roasted whole cauliflower. I guess if you were kind of in a low carb kick and you said I'm not going to eat potatoes, I'm going to have this instead. Might be room for that, or maybe there's room for that. Otherwise, it is white and very bland colored.
That fits the vibe. Yeah. I'm a big cauliflower guy, so I wouldn't be upset about this.
I'm guessing this is very easy to make because the cauliflower appears whole. So I think you just throw that whole thing into the oven and roast it. Maybe tossed with oil and herbs. Yeah, that's what you do. So that's kind of a cool dish, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, approaching the end, and I think it's dessert time. 22, apple pie with nutty crumble topping. Why would you need an apple pie recipe, though, when you can just go to the store and buy one, as Doug said?
That's right. Never cook an apple pie. You're a sucker if you bake your own apple pie.
Even for vegans, because they're vegan as is, you say, many of them.
At your local grocer. Obviously check it, but usually they are.
Right. Yeah. And they're good, huh? They're just as good as a home baked apple pie.
Just as good. I mean, you can't even tell the difference. Like, I bet if I put a lineup of 10 apple pies, you wouldn't know which one came from.
Right. Okay. 23, pumpkin pecan cheesecake, or pecan, depending on where you're from and who you are. That seems kind of good.
That looks good. I know. Yeah, that looks really good.
I'm a big fan of pumpkin pie. I'm a big fan of cheesecake, and I think the marriage of them would actually work pretty well.
Yep.
And finally, 24, vegan whole wheat pecan and maple pie. So there's a pecan pie. I asked what that was the other day. You told me it had some sort of molasses filling. I knew that the top was all those pecans, though. Yep. Box that molasses. Sourdough breadcrumbs go into that filling. Ground cinnamon, a bunch of pieces of pecans. Vegan butter, cornstarch, vegan liquid egg. Get it while you can before the company goes under. Whole wheat, though, is an interesting choice for a pie.
So that looks great, as long as it has a scoop of vanilla ice cream with it.
Yeah.
It'd be too rich on its own. A little something, if it's warm, a little melted, or a little scoop, just a single scoop of some, something very, very neutral. Silk vegan ice cream.
Basically vegan. Yeah. I tend to think that an apple pie needs to have that as well. A la mode, right? Is that what
a la mode? Sure.
Does that just mean like in style? Yeah, in fashion, up to date. That's funny. I guess at one point that was like a new cool thing that was trending.
Mm-hmm.
put.
You head to your local grocer, get an apple pie, get a little ice cream.
Yeah. Right, and that's how the tradition began. Okay.
All right.
Well, there's your Thanksgiving thing. Of course, we'll have a little more pre-Thanksgiving content, but we figured give you this now so that, well, we figured present Veg News' article that they gave you now, so that you can make something ahead of time, or plan your meals ahead of time, I should say. Steven says he's an outsider. Thanksgiving is non-existent for him. Yeah, I mean, you're not missing much, really. It's like if you gave me that meal any other time in the year, I'd say I don't really want this kind of food. But that one
How about
day,
on your birthday?
No, definitely would not want that on my birthday. That is a botch. That was a bad move by Kourtney Kardashian.
Yes, I agree. All right. Well, this was fun. Yeah. Comments stop when we do these recipe lists, but I think they're fun.
There's some here. Dale Stevens says green bean casserole or roasted Brussels. Those seem to be the two favorites for vegetables. Okay. This is on the topic of seafood at Thanksgiving, because we saw the lobster in the the mac and cheese, and I thought it doesn't belong. Someone mentioned oyster stuffing though yesterday. That's that right, they grew up eating. Kate says my aunt's family has a cold crab salad they used to make at Thanksgiving and Christmas because Dungeness crab season usually starts in November around here. Okay, so it's like a seasonal thing. Is Kate the one who's from like Utah? Doesn't seem like the Dungeness crab country, but I don't know. Garuda Legend says in the Caribbean, fish is always a dish for the holidays. Yeah, I think in Italy, fish is involved in some of the Christmas time dishes. But yeah, I don't know about Thanksgiving. Seafood doesn't seem to fit in there to me. So I will not be having any good catch crab cakes at my Thanksgiving table. Okay.
Save those for after. You know what? I was thinking about maybe doing this year with my leftovers, making some sort of Thanksgiving style burrito. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, the open faced sandwich next day is sort of the classic thing people do.
Right, I know. So why not wrap it up?
Burrito.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it would fit. It would keep with your theme. So why not? All right. Well, Steven says, Doug, good luck in your race. Yes, I think I agree. Actually, no, I agree. And I think everyone probably would agree with that.
Thank you guys. Thank you all.
100K is a long way to run. I don't really envy you for getting to do that, but I'm nonetheless will be impressed when you have done it again. So
yes,
hope it goes well.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm excited. As long as I can stay healthy, the next 48 hours should be good to go. Weather's looking perfect.
Okay.
And so
good.
Just gonna go for it.
All right. Great. Sounds good. All right. Well, that's it. Yeah, everyone enjoy your pre-holiday weekend, and we'll be back with you. Oh, we're gonna do next week, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yep.
No Thanksgiving show, but we will do it right up to the date.
That's right. All right, everybody.
All right. Have a good one.